actually wasn't trying not to listen because I probably will have similar answers.
Okay.
I'm sure everyone did.
Let us know.
Okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the same thing. Try to answer in full question. So when did you first hear the Shags?
First heard the Shags, I think I checked them out when I read that Frank Zappa was into them. And really just in passing, I think I listened to one song, maybe when I was a senior in high school. And I wasn't that into it because I wasn't into weird stuff as much then as I am now. And then I really didn't listen to them much again until this project. So it was a quick engulfment of Shags in a short period of time.
And getting engulfed into the process, how was that? How did that feel?
It was pretty daunting at first, but then I felt like once I got the hang of what was going on in the music, it got a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and listening to it more. I felt like I didn't know the music to listen to it as much as a lot of the other people in the show that we did. So I listened to it as much as I could. Just got it in my head and made it easier.
Did you have to learn the language in order to play the
I
song?
definitely had to learn the language. I wrote out a lot of the stuff, which probably was a mistake because then I had to read the parts that I wrote. Writing what's there isn't as hard as actually having to play something as weird as what I wrote. And I try to have it exactly like it, so it's making it even harder. So, I don't remember what your question was, but...
No. Speaking the language of it.
Language, yeah.
Clearly, there's a way to play like the Shags. I mean, their signature style of rhythm and lead guitars. How would try to think? How would you quote unquote rate that kind of guitar playing?
Rate on a scale of like good to bad?
Yeah. Or in comparison to like, Keith Richards and Brian Jones, as far as like, complementary guitar teams.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting question. Well, as far as for the music, as a guitar team, it worked perfectly. I don't think that Keith Richards or Brian Jones could do a better job playing that music than they did. And also the fact that it's sincere playing makes it a lot easier to listen to than if someone was just a bad guitar player. Because if someone's just a bad guitar player and they think they're a really great guitar player, it's usually harder to listen to. But no, I wouldn't rate it bad. I wouldn't rate it terrible guitar playing because of that reason, because of the honesty involved.
As far as replicating that kind of style, replicating those parts, have you had to tap into different parts of your own musicality?
I had to forget about aspects of my own musicality to try to tap into the style of playing. I wasn't really thinking about how to do it, more than just trying to sound like it the best I could. And I think that just listening to the music as much as possible, allows you to have the rhythmic feel, and as far as guitar is concerned, the attack, which you actually helped out with making me play more open strings and thinking less a little bit, but it's a good way to word this. Really the best way for me to learn the music and have the style was to just play along with it and just get the feel in your head. Like having a piece of reading it doesn't really help get that feel. You can't, because none of it is exact. So. Yeah.
And on that point of it not being exact, was it surprising to find out that it actually is written as exact as it could possibly be?
I was very, very surprised to learn that there were charts notation from back in the day. It just seemed so stream of consciousness that I didn't expect that there would be any preconceived charts like that. It seemed like like the way I always thought that the songs were written, where I thought that she had just sit with a guitar and she'd kind of just play whatever and sing it, you know, and try to just figure it out as it went along, and then they would figure it out by ear. I really didn't expect it to be like that. I thought I thought that maybe it would have been a little different every single time that they played it, but it ended up that there was a sheet music for it. So very surprised about that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I think we all were very surprised
Yeah.
about that.
Right.
Oh, I have a chart. I'll send you this chart.
Okay, just read it down.
Okay. And then having to read those charts of the new songs, the unreleased songs.
Yeah.
That I learned more. I became a much better reader than I did in 3 years of music school. Reading through that chart.
Of your best friend and that.
Yeah, your best friend. I couldn't read a note of guitar music before this. Now I'm the best reader in the world.
What else I want to ask? As far as playing this new stuff, are you approaching it more like a current band right now, or are you sort of using language the Shags used, or rock and roll language like a '60s pop band, or what influences are you tapping into?
As with anything I play, I'm pretty much tapping into all the influences. Maybe I wouldn't really tap into a Shags influence on every gig that I play, but so I'm using more of that for this, mostly as far as attack and guitar attack is concerned, and phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of the new music. The new music is a little more normal per se, I guess, even though it's not exactly normal. So it's easier to play more like yourself, I guess, and make it sound cool.
Right. Sort of kind of getting that duality between past and present. To that extent, like Boohoo, I think you did a really nice job on like tapping into those things. Was there anything specific on Boohoo that you were?
What did I play on Boohoo? The lead part.
Yeah.
Boohoo, I was really just trying to think of a country guitar player who sort of can play, but is just soulful and simple. Just a simple and laid back, sleepy feel is what I was thinking for Boohoo, I think.
But not really having too much of a vocabulary.
Exactly. Well, that's simple. That's what I meant. But yeah, no, not much of a guitar vocabulary. Just very simple and melodic.
Yes,
for that song. Yeah.
Cool. What has been your favorite song or songs to work on with this whole
for original
Shags and original? Yeah.
Let me think for a minute here. Okay, two-part. My favorite song to learn from the original Shags record for the show that we played was probably I'm So Happy When You're Near, which later Dot told me that she actually is not one of her favorites, but I discovered something at the beginning of that song that I thought was really cool, that they hold these long chords, and if you listen really carefully, you can hear their hands switching chord positions before each chord, which I just thought was a really just honest and cool thing to hear. And so me and Ruben Radding, who played the song with me at the show, both tried to cop that sound a little bit. And I thought that one, it was really fun because that was the one that we really nailed, like the vibe of the Shags for, and it really felt cool to hear that coming out of my hands, just really sounding like that, and singing it. And the new songs, what are the new songs? Well, I got to play a really cool guitar solo on Speed Limit, so I'm happy about that always. But the Christmas song was really fun to do because that was the one that no one has ever heard at all, and it just was one day of putting a chart in front of us and us just making it happen in like an hour, which was really cool because we looked at it and we're like, oh my god. And then sat with it for a little bit, and then it was like, okay, and it came out really cool. And then, of course, with the whole town singing at the town hall, I added another special little aspect to it. So that one was really fun.
That's really good. I love that. And just two more. How would you describe being up in Fremont?
It was, I mean, as I said before, since I kind of came late to the Shags, I read whenever I get into something, I find out as much about it as I possibly can, and therefore I read all about Fremont and knowing all the stuff, and it's like it really did seem like a fairy tale or something like that, and so when we got to Fremont, it's like, oh yeah, that's where, and it's not exactly like I pictured it, but it's there.
How did you picture it?
I mean, it was pretty much, it was generally the same thing, but I mean, I had like a very specific thing that I pictured. I had pictured, I had pictured there not being a stage, which there was. I had pictured them playing on the floor of this big room, and I, for some reason, pictured this really long walkway leading up to the town hall, which really wasn't, it was sort of there, but not really. But yeah, it was pretty surreal just seeing, after being so deep into this project, driving up and seeing the sign that said "Welcome to Fremont." It was pretty surreal.
Yeah. And lastly, how is it working with Dot?
Dot, I didn't play the show, but Dot was really nice. She's really sweet. Like, I really at first wasn't sure if she would be into the whole thing. I wasn't sure if she wanted to dig this stuff up. I wasn't sure if she wanted to sing anymore. And then it was surprising to me how much she seemed to be into it. And the coolest thing for me was when you guys were recording, she was writing lyrics in her kitchen to the song "Another Day at the Farm," and she asked me about what I think about should she have this lyric or should she get rid of that lyric. And I was like, oh, maybe you should get rid of that lyric. It'll flow a little bit better, So I've had a little bit of a influence on a Shags lyric, which is pretty cool. And it was really cool to just see her there working out lyrics, and she was really cool, really sweet. They were all very welcoming, and there was no, like, a lot of reading about the Shags, it seems like you might expect some kind of animosity or some kind of weird, just not wanting to have to do with music or something, the way that people portray them in some articles about the father and everything like that. And there wasn't really any of that, and they were just very welcoming, and they were excited that people were into what they did, and so it was very, very nice, very pleasant, surprised about that.
It's great. It's great stuff. We got it. We got some really good stuff. It's cool.
I'm pretty good at this, aren't I?
Very good at this, yeah.
I had to do it. I'm not very good at it.
No, you both were great. You were great. Cool.
I thought of more things about Rachel. I was gonna say.
Do you want to say some more things about Rachel?
Yeah, just when she stayed here, it like popped back.
Yeah, here.
Every shit.
Yeah.
We're here.
If you want.
We are here.
We'll just move it back.
Just sit in this chair. We're here. In the same.
Oh, Was this light on?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
Is it that here?
Oh, yeah, actually, it's reflected in the thing, so turn it off.
Oh.
The overhead.
Oh,
the overhead. Yeah, cool. Let's wait until the truck passes. Hey, by the way, we had the rap thing going past on one.
I heard something.
It might sound good.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Who knows? Who knows?
It's going to be picked up, though. This thing pretty much picks up everything. So.
Well, we'll do what we can.
It's a Rode mic. Is it like a separate
Yeah.
attachment than the camera that you got?
Is it what? What?
Is it a separate
Yeah.
device?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, it's just hot shoe mounted, you know. But it's pretty
High tech.
sensitive. Okay. Go.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So when Rachel came to stay, it was pretty awesome to have her in my house. And when she walked in the room and I had a bass, she's like, "Oh, you have a bass?" I'm like, "Yeah. Do you want to play it?" And I'm like, she's like, "Oh my God, please play my bass." And she's like, "Oh, I haven't played in a long time. I don't know." I'm like, "Please, just play if you want." And so she sat down and she started to play, and it was just like so surreal. It was like, wow, so crazy. And then we sang "I Love" by Tom T. Hall, and then she started talking about. We actually listened to a lot of the songs from Philosophy of the World, and she told me all of these memories about hearing them when she was growing up and the band and her sisters and her she told me her dad really likes Petula Clark. So then we sang Downtown on piano duet right here. And then and then I shouldn't say this, but she said I filmed it. She said, "Don't show anybody." I don't want to.
We'll have to work that in somehow.
Now it's in the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, so.
Don't worry, we'll show it.
No. Okay. But yeah. So okay then.
Cool. Awesome. Do you have that clip of her doing Downtown?
Yes, somewhere. Yeah.
I never even saw this.
And singing "I Love." Yeah.
Can you have that?
Yeah, and I think she really wants to see it.
Can you send it to her? Because we
I'll
can
send it to her.
Listen, she really wants it in the film, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Well,
Yeah,
She's an extrovert.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll want as much screen time as possible.
God bless her. God bless her.
yeah, she didn't get any on that.
Right.
Yeah.